And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all on this Friday. I know y'all got dates and things to go on. Y'all got stuff to do, but y'all gonna tap in with the doing all right before you go. And then when you leave, you can stay out all night because you've gotten your nightly dose in. Bryan, I appreciate you, man, for this journey, man, that we've been on. It's winding down, man. I'm at player.
It is winding down.
I'm at player 184, and I got 26 right here, and we gonna end at 210, man. And after that, we gonna let the cards fall, man.
Fini, as they say, Fini, and hope that Tommy and maybe Nick and those guys could pull a Dane Brugler out and carry us the rest of the way if we have to. But I think we'll be okay with 210. Yeah. I think there were times last year where, I still have the ghost of Puka Nacua. Yeah, so that haunts me a little bit. But here we are. It's been a heck of a journey getting these quarterbacks done. Surprised that some of them I thought were going to be better, and some of them I thought were going to be better were not as good, and then there were some that were not as good that maybe I thought they might be they were a little bit better. So that's kind of where we're at right now with these quarterbacks. And if you got to grab one, this will be some interesting situations to grab you one.
Man, Bryan, we watched Riley Leonard from Notre Dame, Curtis Rourke from Indiana. We watched Kyle McCord from Syracuse. We watched Tyler Shaw from Louisville.
It's pronounced Shuck.
Shuck?
Shuck.
Shough? I got that spelled
Shuck.
wrong?
Shuck.
Oh, well, damn. Tyler Shuck. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Tyler Shuck. Why is his name spelled Shough?
That's how it's pronounced. I specifically asked Dane Brugler for this. I said, "How do you pronounce that quarterback from Louisville's name?" And he said, "Tyler Shuck."
Shough makes Shuck. Okay, damn. What country is that from? I don't know.
I know one kid. I know Rourke is from Canada. I do know that.
He's from Ontario. Yeah. Who knew? But Bryan, I will play the rank 'em game tonight, Bryan, because I think I got an interesting little layout of these guys, Bryan. 1 through 4.
So you want me to guess your ranking game is what you want to do?
Guess my ranking. Yeah, please. Guess my ranking, Bryan.
I think you're fooling yourself. I think you have these just out. I think I got these. Okay. I think I got it for you. And I'm confident and now I'm not confident. Okay, let's go. Right. McCord, Shuck, Rourke, Riley.
So Riley is my 4th. You are correct there. Rourke is my 3rd.
Okay.
And I know he fits your eye and all that. Kyle McCord is 2nd, Bryan Broaddus.
Oh.
Let me tell you something. I see why people like the Louisville kid.
Okay.
I see why people like the Louisville. Riley Leonard let me down bad. But I see why people like this Louisville kid, Bryan. I walked away such a fan. I'm going to keep calling him Shaw on accident, but Shuck.
Shuck.
I walked away such a fan of this kid. And if he's around in day 3 somewhere, we can talk about Shuck for the Dallas Cowboys. That's my personal opinion. We could talk about Shuck for the Dallas Cowboys. He's a big boy, so he probably fits your eye as well, Bryan Broaddus.
Yep. Sure does.
I just want to know where you got Shuck ranked out of the 4. Where you got him? Where you got him at? Out of these 4.
Yeah, I actually went McCord, Shuck.
Yeah,
is what I did. Rourke, Leonard is how I did them.
You know, it's interesting, Bryan. When go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just like I told you. Just like I thought you might. I thought you might have seen him the same way, but I'm very interested in your. I'm very interested in your commentary here or your report.
You know, it's interesting, Bryan. Sometimes I evaluate these guys in pairs and I accidentally compare them to each other. Sometimes I do that, you know what I'm saying? Because they're all peers and I'm comparing them versus each other, you know? And I do think Shuck and Kyle McCord are the 2 best guys. But if it's anything that puts me over the edge that goes Shuck, his athleticism, Bryan.
Mm.
I think he moves a little better than McCord, and I think his arm talent sticks out a little more than McCord. I watched McCord first, and I did like McCord, but watching Shuck after him, I saw much more zip on the football with Shuck. So let's do this, Bryan. Let's run it. Shuck fits Bryan Broaddus' eye with the NFL side. That's what I got in my note. Fits Bryan Broaddus' eye with the NFL size. I think he got a pretty good arm, and his athleticism fits my eye because I like the athleticism, Bryan. I think he has nice touch downfield and outside the numbers at all levels. This was important to me, Bryan. I watched 5 games. I got a little film for you. I watched Virginia first, okay?
Oh, did you? Okay.
Let me just show you this play, okay? Virginia versus Louisville. Just look at this throw, Bryan. They're going to be going to the left side of the field. Look at this throw. I was just watching Shuck, and I was watching. This throw is ridiculous, Bryan.
Oh, yeah, it's a long throw.
I just want anybody in your backyard to just try this. He's going to throw it from the 3, about 20 yards, outside the numbers, before going out of that's ridiculous, Bryan. And look, the wide receiver didn't catch it, which is another problem with these Louisville kids.
They got a problem. They got a problem there.
They will drop some damn passes, Bryan. But I mean, goodness, Bryan, that's NFL right there. From the right hash to outside
wide hash. Yeah, wide hash.
To outside outside the left numbers, Bryan Broaddus. And a lot of my problems with a lot of these kids is that, man, it's easy to run some crossing routes or to run stuff in the middle of the field. But when I saw this play, I sat up in my chair because now I know you can make NFL throws. And then he kept making throws outside the numbers, intermediate and deep downfield. Love that about him, Bryan Broaddus. So I'm like, all right, cool. Shuck is fitting my eye a little bit. Now, Bryan, I think once we get to this part of quarterbacks, inconsistencies start to creep into the party a little bit because I feel like he plays like a wild man. Sometimes he'll make some weird decisions, right? I think once the pressure gets to him a little bit, he can run away. He has enough athleticism and good enough size, good athleticism to get away. But I saw too many times he'll throw the ball to a receiver that got 3 dudes on him. He'll just do that a lot, right? So maybe that's some hey, coach, tap him on the shoulder and tell him that he can't do that. But athletically, he gets away, but he also navigates the pocket to make time for himself. Sometimes when he does that, his eyes come down and it's not about the throw. Sometimes he's just trying to get away from people, and he gets sacked doing that. I wish he'll stop doing that. But and my last line is that his wide receivers just didn't help at all. So there's there's a ton of drops from these Louisville kids. I feel like with some better talent catching the football around him, I don't even think the O-line was an issue. I just think sometimes he'll hold the ball a little bit and run around and get himself sacked, or he'll just throw the ball somewhere he has no business throwing it. But when he's good and he's on, I like Tyler Shuck, and I like the zip he throws on it, and I like the athleticism, Bryan Broaddus. He's my favorite guy out of this group of 4.
Can I ask you where you put him then on your board?
I got Shuck in the 4th round. He's my early 4th round guy, and I got him over Kyle McCord, who's also a 4th round guy, which is over Quinn Ewers, who is also a 4th round guy.
Yeah, I don't have him as good as you do.
That's all right.
And yeah, no, it is. And I was trying my best to get him in that 4th round because I've got Milroe, McCord, Ewers in that 4th round. I got Shuck and Gabriel in the 5th right now, and then I have Rourke and Leonard in that 6th round or others, that other category. There's some things about Tyler Shuck that I think you're onto some things. Let me just give you the background of the kid, and I think people know he's a multiple transfer guy. Oregon, Texas Tech, Louisville. He's played college football for 7 years due to multiple injuries. He's had significant injury history. He's broken his collarbone twice and missed the season because of that. He broke his fibula in 23 and missed the season because of that. You're absolutely right about the arm talent, and he's capable of making all the throws. So, I mean, he'll drop down sidearm in order to hit the crosser. There's snaps where his receivers didn't help him with drops, resulted in interceptions or turnovers. You can watch the Notre Dame game and see that. Yeah. He plays under center, actually, which a lot of these guys don't, but he does battle with inconsistency for the position. He could be on the right mark, and then other times it's not even close. I think he's a much better passer when he's protected. Yep. He has a tendency, and this reminded me of Eli Manning back in the day. He has a tendency to flinch in the pocket or fall back when he's under pressure. When you get on him, he tends to, and Eli Manning used to do this late in his career. You'd see him kind of dip back and then throw the ball and thinking that he was going to get hit. So maybe that's all the things that he's had to deal with collarbones and stuff like that. But there are times when that pressure, you see him kind of go back and fall back when he's under pressure. And the Notre Dame game, again, this was a very noticeable thing to me. He'll throw the ball in a crowd for no reason. You brought that up. Yeah. I didn't think he was the most mobile in the pocket when it came to his escapability. I didn't think he won enough. There's other quarterbacks that we've seen that in those situations where they've had to run and had to win and, help them with their legs, I thought that he didn't do that nearly enough. I saw him get run down. I saw him get trapped. He had a sack fumble again against Notre Dame. Maybe this Notre Dame game was just awful for him, but I watched some of the Miami game and we saw some of those things still as well. He does his best to get rid of the ball when he's pressured. There's a lot of play action passes. I think his timing is somewhat adequate with getting it out. He'll push the ball down the field. You just showed that very well with that clip with some success. He will be 26 years old in September. And I mentioned the injury history. I put him in the 5th round. I think that, to me, I didn't like the fact that the way the pressure kind of affected him. His size is impressive. He's 6'5", he's 219. That part of it's good. But I just did not feel like, though, with the age, the kind of the little bit skittish in the pocket, I just didn't feel like, and then, like I said, not winning enough with his legs was something that bothered me a little bit. And so I put him there. I put him there in the 5th round, and if he turns out to be the player that you say, I'll be more than happy to pat you on the back. I just don't see it for me. I think the injury history, the age, the inconsistencies, the lack of mobility, I think will be a big, big problem.
Let me show you some stuff then on this film here. And I think this kind of sums them up pretty good, and this proves your point really. 10:30 right here. This is kind of what you mean by like crumbling in the pocket. I had this written down. I mean, we doing film, Bryan, bro. I kind of had this written down, just kind of crumbling in the pocket though. But I don't think this always paints the picture of who he is though, Bryan, because sometimes as far as like a pocket navigating dude, he'll do this to you, right? He'll boom, step up and then roll, but then he'll throw it into a crowd. He'll throw it to a crowd of 2 or 3 people. So it's really everything's up and down with him. Now we are. Please.
No, go ahead. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're right.
We are talking about day 3 quarterbacks at this point, right?
Right.
This ain't like I'm looking at Will Howard. Oh, I'll take Will Howard.
No.
So what we're looking at now is traits. I learned this from you. When we in day 3, we're looking for traits. So I do think he has some pretty good athleticism. You missed him on that. I will say you missed him on that. I do think he's a pretty decent athlete, especially compared to Rourke and McCord. But with his arm and his size and with that and with the athleticism that at least I could see, I think those are enough traits to take a chance on him once you get to like round 5 or something like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, he actually ran a pretty damn good 40 if you look at it. The time for the 40 was pretty good for him. At that size. I mean, if you split the times, he's like a 4.65 guy running is what he did. So
here's a play. I found it, Bryan. The play that made this is just one of his running plays here, just him running around a little bit. Boom, and he's just kind of, hey, I can run away with it. I was like, okay, he can move a little bit.
Okay.
But that's just how I saw it. That's just my eyes.
No,
I need to watch Notre
that's-
Dame,
and
though.
I-
Let me
and I
watch
did
Notre
not-
Dame. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I did not watch the Virginia game. I watched the Notre Dame game. It was one of the ones because, it's like I say, sometimes you catch these kids, good, and you have to do, several games and stuff on them to get a feel on them. But like I say, the injuries, the age, and that part where the crumbling in the pot, with pressure and all. And I just wonder,
that'll get him.
He's broken his collarbone twice, and I wonder if it's one of those.
Is he afraid? Is he just getting down so he doesn't get hurt?
Am I gonna get hit again and they're gonna fall on me? And but the arm talent is there. The arm talent is clear. I will say though, for somebody that's played as much football as he have, I don't like him throwing in that crowd the way he does.
I hate that. Yeah.
I just don't like that very much.
Yeah. You are not wrong about that one, Bryan Broaddus. I just can't unsee that 20-yard out to the sideline. That was beautiful.
Oh no, that's arm talent. That's arm talent. You're absolutely right about that. Arm talent.
Kyle McCord is a lot more safe with the football, though, Bryan.
Yeah.
Kyle McCord is a lot more safe. Like I said, I was watching them together, and just some things, just comparing him to Shuck. Shuck is
Shuck, yeah.
The things that Shuck was bad at, McCord far excels at it. And vice versa. So both those guys might be tag touching guys. It's just, if you're a front office, it just depends on what you like. But Kyle McCord gets rid of the ball quickly. He makes great decisions on time. I think he's more consistently accurate than the rest of the group of guys that we've been looking at. I ain't see him push the ball down the field too much. I ain't seen him push it too much. But from short to intermediate, it seems like he was like he was money, but not only accurate, but placement of the football. So if we're crossing, I'm putting it in front of you so that you can have room to catch it and run. I hate when the quarterbacks throw it behind them a little bit, and it would be a touchdown, but they got to stop their feet to catch it, and somebody behind. Give them room to run. Kyle McCord excels at that. And honestly, I think some of these quarterbacks get exposed when you throw the ball with him a bunch. Kyle McCord threw the ball a lot, and he was always consistent throwing the ball a lot. So so a large sample size for him. A large sample size. But like I said, his arm talent didn't necessarily fit my eye. But I do have a soft spot for the dude that is safe with the football and gets rid of it on time. I didn't really see him get sacked a whole bunch. He may have gotten sacked a little bit, but I didn't see him get sacked a whole bunch because he's getting rid of that thing. He's on time. I do think his ceiling might just kind of be a backup guy. I don't think I can develop him into being a dude that could possibly play. I think Shuck is definitely a backup, but I think I can develop him because he has the arm talent and the size. I think I can develop him into being something, maybe, if we get lucky with one of these quarterback darts. But I think Kyle McCord, I think his ceiling is backup quarterback in the league. That's my personal opinion. That's why I got him under Shuck. But I like Kyle McCord, though. Kyle McCord can play some football, Bryan.
Yeah, you know what? I think if you hate if you want to hate Kyle McCord, watch the Pitt game. That was a problem. And but he, this kid was a transfer from Ohio State. He does a really nice job of getting the ball out of his hand. You mentioned that. I mean, he could get it out quickly. He could get out efficiently. He did have the rough game against Pitt, interceptions and some poor passes. I think he takes a really aggressive approach when he's attacking defense. He is not afraid to throw the ball in those tight windows. He does a good job of challenging defenses. His ball placement can be good. He can hit receivers on the move, allow him not to break stride. He doesn't have, I didn't think his arm talent was great, but his timing is really, really, really good. And he kind of can rely on that. When he's late with his throws, he could get in trouble. He can scramble when he has to. I don't think he's going to particularly run away from anybody, but he'll do what he has to do to buy himself some space. He will like Shuck get trapped in the pocket. He tends to throw the ball to his initial read, and so that's why he can get it out of his hands so quick with his release. He had some throws that should have been picked, and they weren't. I went back and I checked something on him. I said, man, something's up with these turnovers. And he had the most turnover worthy plays in the FBS this year. So that's something, but he threw the ball a school record 391 times. He does have that gunslinger mentality. I put him in the fourth, and I put him in the fourth because I agree with you. I think there's something that you could work with him, with the way he plays. I'm not particularly, like I say, I put him behind with Quinn Ewers in that crew is where I had. So I take that back. Excuse me. Fourth round, I lost my spot. Milroad, McCord, Ewers. That's my fourth round guys right now.
Yeah. Man, Jalen Milroe's athleticism is really carrying him through these conversations.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna take a chance, and I put Milroe in a spot to where I know on my board, I need to take him. You know what I'm saying? Milroe. I mean, if you're listening to whispers and potential, Milroe could go in the second round.
Sure.
But I know I'm kind of betting on like my guy at Buffalo.
Yeah.
With Allen.
Yeah.
I'm kind of betting on I could work with this guy throwing the ball, and I can maybe get him better throwing the ball. But the athletic ability and the ability to move and run and do and all that, I can't put those other guys above him. I just can't, because I think this kid could be special with work. I really, and I know he went to Alabama. He gets to the right place and just lets somebody work with him. I think he can throw the ball better, because I'm having visions of that Georgia game in my head, But then you got to think, well, damn, Bryan, what about the stupid
Michigan and Missouri?
Michigan, yeah, and the game, the games are Oklahoma, where they're not doing as well, So I'm going to keep him there, but I got McCord, got Ewers. You very well could be right about Shuck with him, but I just think, like I said, I gave you my reasons with the age, with also the injury history. I just kind of felt like that I needed to keep him there in that fifth round.
Man, Bryan, I ain't got nothing nice to say about these next two guys, man. Got a nice thing to say. These next two guys why I don't want to watch quarterbacks in the first place. I'll say this, Bryan. I'll give a brief recap of these two, and I'll let you take over, Bryan, because I ain't going to take long.
You got it.
I think our guy Rourke here, Curtis Rourke, he's my third guy on this list. I do like him a little more than Riley Leonard.
Yeah.
Take everything that I said about Shuck. Take everything I said about Shuck. Take away the athleticism. And make him a little more inconsistent. That's Rourke right there.
Yeah,
that's Rourke right there. Take Shuck and make him a little more inconsistent and tie both his shoes together. That's him right there. That's Rourke. Bryan, I didn't enjoy watching his film at all. I don't know how Indiana won these games. I don't know how they put these points up. I don't know how he got all them yards, Bryan Bros. But I just was not. I know his size fits your eye because I know who you are.
Yeah.
Size wise or whatever. But Bryan, sometimes on the draft show here, we would talk about player pet peeves, and one of mine is I hate a big ass guard that ain't strong. That's just one of my things. Like a big player that's strong. Rourke is too damn big for his long passes to flutter like they do.
Yeah.
He don't put zip on the football, Bryan.
Yeah.
He too damn big for him. So he too damn big for him not to have zip on the football like that, Bryan.
Yeah.
I was so let down with him. With this kid Rourke, he's in the extras. Great size, great frame. He shows good touch and accuracy sometimes, though, Bryan.
Right.
He shows it sometimes. Maybe in the shorter ranges he's a little more athletic, but he does take his deep shots though. He makes the attempts.
Yep. Nope. That's. I think you're right on this kid.
Sometimes he hits him, Bryan, but sometimes he hit Pam Oliver. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
You hate Shuck in the pocket. I think this kid's worse in the pocket.
Oh, I don't have anything. I don't think of anything really. I have this kid in the 6th round.
Yeah, please.
I'm not overly interested. He is a transfer from Ohio. His brother, they're by the way, they're Canadian kids. Um, his brother was a quarterback at Ohio and plays in the CFL at quarterback and actually does pretty well up there. Uh, at you mentioned at 6'4", 220. Um, he has size, he has experience. He wears a big knee brace on his right knee. He tore his ACL at one time and he plays with this huge brace on his knee. So it doesn't make him the most mobile guy at all. He can make some nice throws, but his accuracy and ball placement can be all over the place. Against Notre Dame, watching them again, he had some wide open throws that should have been there, and they just didn't get it done. He does have some anticipation. He will try. He will try and do too much, and then he puts the ball in harm's way. He had an open throw in the flat and just tried to fit it in a tight spot, and Watts, the safety from Notre Dame, picked it off. He is not a jittery quarterback when he faces the pressure. He can avoid the rush, but most of his snaps can be limited in the way he escapes. He's not the quickest with his release. The more he is sped up, the more likely he is going to have a problem. Passes tend to get knocked down with this guy. Like I mentioned, his brother went to Ohio. His brother's a quarterback in the CFL. This is where this kid might end up. He might end up being a CFL quarterback as well. I just, me personally, I have him in your other group. I don't think Curtis Rourke would be on my team given the opportunity. I would not, like I say, 6th round when he gets drafted. Even if he gets drafted, I have him there. I'll have him on the board, and but that's kind of what he is.
Riley Leonard as a passer wasn't that much better. I might put him with the damn running backs on my board, Brian Broaddus.
Zach Wolchuk came up with an interesting thought about him.
What do you say?
Zach said, he goes, "This might be Tim Tebow, is who this might be." This can't really throw the ball, but is just going to run and
you know who he is, Brian? You remember
Taysom Hill?
Taysom
Hill.
You remember in Oklahoma, Blake Bell when he was a quarterback and he'll come in. They call him the Belldozer. And then he ends up playing tight end or whatever. What if this kid what if he a tight end, bro? I don't know.
But I thought he was Taysom Hill. I mean, maybe you could, and maybe he's not as good an athlete as Taysom Hill.
No.
But I mean, I was just trying to I'm like, let me just read what I have on him if I can. Let me see him in Riley Leonard. I need to go the other way. I'm going the wrong way on my board.
I didn't even put notes on him, Brian, because I just remember. I remember everything about it. It's all in my head, bro. He throws hitches and slant. Please go ahead. Please knock it out.
Yeah. This might be. He's a transfer from Duke, but I did say this. He might be one of the toughest quarterbacks in this draft. Just from the physical side of play, that part is impressive. The staff will use him to close out games by having him run the ball. You can watch they're a 4-minute offense and he is running the ball like direct snap, power designed quarterback runs. This kid is a battler in every sense of the word. He struggles with his accuracy and his mechanics. He just isn't a good passer. And there are times when guys are open, he just can't get them the ball. He'll make his guys work way too much for the ball. There's some throws that he can make, but those were just really hard for him. You will see him go through his progressions, but the faster he has to play, the more likely something bad is going to happen to him as well. He just doesn't have the arm talent in order to make the throws when he gets into trouble. He's going to need talent around him to have success. That's kind of the way it was at Notre Dame. They had some guys around him that did a pretty nice job. The best thing he does is run the football, and he can be a weapon on short yardage or on the goal line doing this. He's not going to make the mistake with the ball in his hands when it comes to that. He'll slide around, buy himself some time, but he tends to be slow getting to where he needs to be. I thought he played well to get Notre Dame into the national championship game. was MVP of 2 of the playoff games. Maybe you find a role for him if he is that quarterback that can take the snap, short yards, whatever. Like I say, I was thinking of Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's that tough kind of guy, catch the ball and all that. We might see the same thing with Riley Leonard here. But I talked to some people who are in tune with the Notre Dame staff, and this guy told me, he's like, they were surprised when they got him what a struggle it was for him to throw the football.
Yeah.
They were surprised when they got him on campus. And listen, they liked having the kid. The kid's not a problem, all that, but
Sure.
they were surprised at how far away he was mechanically from being able to throw the football well.
Yeah.
And they tailored the offense around him to make up for his shortcomings as a quarterback, and mainly is throwing the football. But they love the kid. They love how his toughness. But they were surprised how poorly he actually threw the football when they got him. But they did what they have to do to make it work.
Hey, cool college quarterback story type. I'm sure he's a great leader. And hey, when you in college, it's tough to tackle all that mass running right at you, man. But I don't see this working out in the league at all.
I don't either. I don't either.
Bro. So look, man, we on the same page more than not, Bryan. You see what I'm saying? We agree here. You're wrong about Shuck.
I'll be interested about the Shuck. I'll be interested about Shuck.
Yeah.
I mean, I will, like I say, it's these quarterbacks are hard. They're hard to, and when they're not accurate, but when they're struggling and they're not moving or they're throwing into crowds, there's things you could do against Northwestern that you can't do against the Commanders or the Eagles and stuff like that. So you gotta be better than what we've seen so far. So like I say, I thought, just to kind of put a bow on all this, Ward clearly my best quarterback. I thought Jackson Dart was going to be better than Sanders. He wasn't better than Sanders, but they're right there. Sanders, Dart. I was really, really surprised in a nice way of Will Howard. We'll see how that all plays out with him.
Sure.
And then Milroe, if I could get him to throw better, then I've got a guy that could be a weapon in all phases. So got to hope for that. And then everybody else, if you're taking one of those guys, you're probably taking a backup guy, and maybe a guy that you want to move on from, at a later date. So I would be real careful with that.
As far as Cowboy goes, I think, and these are people that you can draft that'll play over Greer, just my own personal opinion. Howard, it might just be Howard and Dart, really. Like we're just talking about, we're not gonna draft Ward or Sanders or anything like that. But if you bring Howard in, I think he's pushing Greer. I think Dart pushes Greer. Shuck maybe not. Milroe is gonna run around until he figures it out. Maybe in year 3 he'll do something. Kyle McCord,
no,
I don't think so neither. Ewers got a shot, but he's gonna end up losing his spot in the preseason game when he keep throwing the ball to the other team. Gabriel, no. Leonard, no. Rourke, absolutely not. So that's just the quarterback class we have. But Bryan, the way quarterback is, Rourke might be a superstar in this damn league in 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about, you just don't know. I mean, we put our name out there every night, and this is how you saw him. And, I think you and I, you might have disagreed on where in the round.
Sure.
If you gave me a shot at a guy, I think I'd take Milroe. But I don't think I'm not taking Milroe at 44, where he's probably going to need to be taken.
Sure.
And I'm probably not going to take him at 76, but that you give me an extra pick.
Yeah.
Say in the 3rd round, I'd sure damn consider him. But he might be gone. I mean, I at times always feel like I'm around low on these quarterbacks. Because what do you call it? The quarterback tax?
Quarterback tax. Yep.
I've never heard that, but I like it. I like it. Yeah.
I got Milroe in the 4th, Bryan, and you asked me the other day if we had an extra.
You would rather have Howard. You would rather have Howard.
I think if I had to make the decision right now, sharp weapon to my head, I would go Howard, because I do think this is a passing league. Howard can run though. Howard runs different. He runs different. He's bigger, so he runs more of a Josh Allen than a, you know what I'm saying, Jackson or whatever. So he runs different. Milroe can run, but I think if you play the proper contain and make him throw, I think that'll be the game plan. If you stop Howard from running, he'll throw the ball.
He'll throw the ball.
He'll just throw the football. So I think I'm more comfortable with Howard, but I understand exactly what you're saying, because Milroe's running is elite. He's not just fast enough like some of the rest of these guys. His athleticism running the football is elite, and you could at least bank on that. But damn, Trey Lance was the same kind of way. So I guess
that. It's funny you say that, because I was thinking of these guys and like, are any of these guys like Trey Lance that, and you wonder with Schottenheimer, will the offense even be about a quarterback that can run with Dak Prescott? You don't even, maybe the scheme is not, maybe the scheme is about a guy like Will Howard or one of these guys that can throw the ball. Maybe it's not going to be about, you got to be able to run. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. But you also, if the scheme is going to be
designing stuff for you.
Yeah. Like we think, I think that Dylan Gabriel at Miami is a really good fit, because they play with a shorter guy. They play with a left-handed guy. So they don't have to do anything to their offense. Yeah. They don't have to make the offense right-handed for somebody. Yeah. They can keep it left-handed. You got a guy that's accurate. You got a guy that kind of move around the pocket. You got a shorter guy. That's a comfortable fit for them. Like you and I have Dylan Gabriel like in the 5th round. Yeah. The Dolphins might have him in the 3rd.
Because he fits them.
Because it fits them. Mm-hmm. I wonder which one of these guys now, with Brian Schottenheimer as the primary play caller and offensive coordinator, which one of these guys best fits. And it could be Howard. Yeah. It could be Shuck. Yeah. It very well could be Shuck. Yeah. So yeah, I need to do some research. Which one of these guys they really, really like?
Something in my body tells me it'll probably be closer to Howard, because I think like the passing stuff developing is gonna make a little sense for us. But if you want to have a quarterback that's gonna design runs, go get Savion Williams. All right.
Well, I'll tell you real quick though. The one thing that we do know, is that Brian Schottenheimer was at the Ohio State workout. So if he got his eyeballs on, he got to see Ibuka and he got to see all that.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys there. There's a lot of guys.
And who was throwing the ball? Who was throwing? Who was? That means at least he had an idea, some eyes. I'm not saying they're going to take Will Howard, but Will Howard at the end of the day might be the best fit for not getting Sanders and Dart and Ward. Yeah.
Do we have a super secret 30 visit list that we have that everybody doesn't have just yet?
Not yet.
Okay, cool. We'll talk then. We'll talk
yeah.
I think once we get that list, I think we'll get a lot of answers about some stuff.
I would be interested, because I'd like to take that 30 list and figure out the last 20 some odd players we're going to watch. You know what I'm saying? If there's anybody on that list that we haven't watched,
there might be some adjustments that I make on the,
I would keep that. I'd keep that thing kind of flexible for right now. I think that visits are in April 4th or so. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
I'm going to get out the best of these guys and some of the guys towards the bottom.
Yeah. Do that. And then we'll adjust to if guys we don't have on the board. Yeah.
Bryan Broaddus, is always a pleasure, man.
Thank you, boss. I appreciate you, man. It was a good week. I'm glad I got through with that. I'm still alive. I'm still walking, and I'm no worse from wear. But I have an understanding of. I was surprised by Will Howard. Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, good for him. That is my biggest takeaway. Like,
Yeah.
Will
Someone's
Howard
going to give him a good quarterback in Will Howard, I think.
I hope it's us. Brian. Yeah, we only got a couple more years with that. Appreciate y'all for tapping in with us. Not just about these 4 guys, because I know you ain't got nothing nice to say about Leonard O'Rourke. But if y'all the all 10 quarterbacks that we've watched, tell us about them. Tell us what y'all think about them. And look, y'all, and look, this is funny, Brian, because people hate Dak Prescott. So y'all come to the floor and tell us what you think, which quarterback will step up, and don't just give us the easy hand. Oh, Shedeur Sanders, go against Shedeur Sanders. Give us some real commentary. We read everything that y'all say, and we appreciate y'all. Please.
Yeah, real quick. I know you're trying to close the show.
Go ahead.
You don't have Dak. They moved on from him. You have the 12th pick, just for laughs here. Sure. You don't have Dak. Mm-hmm. They got rid of the head coach, so you got a new head coach, and you got the 12th pick. Ward's gone. Who you taking between Sanders and Dart at 12 to be your quarterback of the future?
I'm taking neither because I want somebody to fit my eye. But if I had to pick between those two, I'm picking Sanders over Dart.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm picking Sanders over Dart. And
I am too.
I think Dart at 12 is pretty rich.
Yeah.
But I also think in other quarterback classes, I think we can find some better quarterback around.
Yeah. I was just like I say, there was a time back in the day where Dallas, the Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott were kind of in limbo.
Sure.
They moved on from Mike McCarthy. It'd been interesting to see at 12, Dallas would have clearly been in the quarterback market. They would have clearly been in the quarterback market. And I believe that if it came down to it, Sanders was there. I think they would take Sanders.
Yeah.
I do.
Dallas doesn't take first round quarterbacks though. It's so weird how they operate. They keep getting
this one. They might. This one they might.
Hopefully.
This one they might.
We'll see, Brian. It'll be a fun draft show regardless whether it happens.
Oh yeah.
But,
absolutely.
I'll be ready for it. Whenever quarterback happens, I'll have something to say. But normally I don't have nothing to say about quarterbacks, Brian Bryce. But hey, VOCHLONBARDI Yin Broaddus. He's about to go watch LSU women's basketball.
They won.
Congrats. Here. I ain't know the game
Go
was
Tigers.
Over. I don't know nothing about
phone beeped when we were talking about quarterbacks.
Here. I'm gonna leave here and not watch college basketball. I don't care about. Y'all hold it down until next time. All right. Crown Global Media.